Hey musical architects, I love adding live percussion over electronic drums because they give it something we cannot come up with as programmers that live drummers and live percussionists do naturally. But there's a problem with that. How to align them so they sound tight? I have two options. I can either make the live percussion go with the electronic percussion, or we can make the electronic percussion try to imitate the live percussion. What methods do we have though that make this feasible and doesn't take up incredible amounts of time to make things align? Logic has some great tools. I want to show you some to make these two worlds come together. Let's check it out. Welcome back. In this video, I'd like to show you how to use the groove track, a really cool tool or technique in Logic. But like any tool, I like to find a musical purpose for it. And my purpose here is to align live drums with electronic drums, or vice versa. Live drums are great. They have all those details and nuances only live players can get. But they're also live, meaning they have inconsistencies and are not perfect. And that's hard when you want to combine it with electronic drums. Electronic drums, on the other hand, have no limit when it comes to sound. You can create whatever sound you want and frequencies that might be hard to get in natural drums. So to combine the two makes sonically sense, but it's not often easy when it comes to the rhythmical alignment. So how do we fix that? I want to show you the groove track as I mentioned, but before we do that, I want to give you a quick preview of what I had to do to get the live percussion to a state where I can actually work with it. Here are the stems that I got back from my percussion player Andrej in Spain. I gave him two stems, one music only, no percussion, and one electronic percussion. Once I import those files, I have to do a few steps before I can work on alignment. Number one, I have to cut out any noises I don't want and eliminate instruments I don't like. If there's any inconsistencies or mistakes, I would cut those out too, or align his percussion within itself. Once I cut out everything I don't need, I will work on the sound. I will pan it. If there's a stereo mic, I will add some EQ and compression and some reverbs to make these drums, these percussion sounds sound close to what I want. So here's an example of what the percussion sounded like raw, without any treatment and alignment, and then after I cleaned them up and added some effects. Here is a mixdown of the drums with effects. In a different section, as opposed to in the chorus, or with effects and panning. So now we get a clean and pre-mixed sound. I can always go back and adjust something, but now I'm going to be focusing on the alignment. What if we don't have perfect alignment between electronic and live percussion? The electronic percussion, of course, was probably more quantized and on the beat, on the grid, and the instruments played around the electronic percussion. So making my electronic follow the live means all the other instruments are a bit off too. So in this case, I'm probably going to go the other way. But I don't want to lose all that live feel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try from the outside in. What if I could align the major hits first? There's one function I don't use often, but once in a while it works, which is called groove track. If I go Option T and if I activate groove track, it gives me the ability to make one track here when I hover over the track number, the leader, and anything else can follow that. So I have my kick drum and I have my live percussion. The kick drum is not very fast, it's just quarter notes or 8 notes, and I didn't want to miss out on the live feel of these little subdivisions that the percussionist plays. If I would quantize that, it becomes too stiff, it becomes too robotic. So I want to keep that. But I want to make sure they hit with the bigger kicks. So, in other words, so together, Just want to make sure it's tight. So I'm going to make this my leader and this follow. So Logic analyzes it and aligns a couple of the bigger hits here just to make out. If I don't like anything in particular, I can always use flex time to fix little hits. If you need more information about that, check out my other video on aligning audio. So that's cool, but then I had this other part. This is quantized, so this will rub a little bit too much with the live percussion. So how can I make these align? Since I made the kick the leader, I cannot have another groove track. There can only be one leader here in this outfit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily switch it around. I adjusted this following track 50, my kick. So I'm going to bounce this, Control B in place, which I did here. And for a second, and just for the time being, I'm going to make this the leader. So my live percussion now is the leader. This is quantized based on the kick. And now I'm going to follow this one. I'm going to have the electronic percussion follow the live. And it made it a little less stiff, a little less quantized. Because it picked up the groove that Andrej, the live percussionist, played. Once I have this, I bounce it, again Control B, and now I have it printed. Now I can turn this off, I can turn this off and make my kick again the leader, and this will follow. So this follows, live percussion follows the kick, and this one has been following this. And so they all follow each other nicely without being too quantized and yet also being tight. Hope this makes sense. So groove track can be useful. Follow it. And once you're done, I might just want to print this, hit Control B and print them with correction. Once I'm happy with these, I can take this track, I can take my kick track and my adjusted percussion here as well, and then import them into my original session and work on the final mixdown. I'm going to close off by playing the track, soloing elements, adding one by one so you can see the difference that all these elements have on the overall arrangement and mix and production. Especially when the live percussion comes in, how much momentum it gives the track and how it comes alive that way. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. If you want to dig deeper, feel free to check out my Udemy course, where I start from the very beginning of writing a song to the end of production and take you step by step through the process. Thanks so much and have a great day. No matter what, stay unapologetically creative.